Hello everybody, today we're doing an easy job. We're skimming a backsplash in a kitchen. The homeowners, they removed their tile, and lucky for them it came right off. It popped right off. So it's not always this easy, but if you do have a backsplash and you do decide you want to change the style of it, go ahead and try to remove at least one or two tiles, and if you get lucky they just pop right off. The mortar that they used for this tile wasn't the best, so as you can see, it didn't really bond that great to the drywall, so it just popped off. So they called us in to just get it all skimmed out, left smooth to match the rest of the walls. So it's a pretty easy process. Most tile backsplash jobs are not this easy. Some of them, when they remove them, they gouge the walls and they make holes in the walls, and we have to actually cut out the sheetrock. But once in a while they get lucky and you get them removed and they pop right off, and then you can get away with just skimming out the backsplash, maybe 2-3 coats, and leave it smooth, or you can texture to match. Even if you remove the backsplash tile, you're still going to at least have to coat it out 1 or 2 times to kind of leave it somewhat smooth again if you do decide to retile it. If you remove the tiles and they don't come off, you're going to just have to cut it all out and replace the sheetrock, retape it, recoat it, and texture it, or leave it smooth for a new tile. But easy setup like this, since it's a smooth texture, we don't have to get crazy with the masking. Just put it down some masking tape. So on this, I'm going to be skimming out using a 5-minute mud. The reason I use these quick set muds, hot muds, is because I have to finish the job in one trip. But if this is your job and you haven't done much mudding experience, then just stick to an all-purpose joint compound. All-purpose joint compounds have to set up overnight, and then you'd lightly sand them in between coats, and then follow through with another tight coat. The joint compounds are less forgiving. If you make a mistake, no problem, you can sand away your mistakes. The hot muds, quick set muds that I use, or a powder form. You have to add water, mix it up, and then it activates the formula, and then it sets up in a time frame like 5, 20, 40, 90 minute. These muds are more professional grade materials. Once they set up like a cement. So it's a different technique working with these hot muds versus a joint compounds. Like I said, hot muds are get the job done in one trip, but it's more of a professional grade material, and if you do not know what you're doing with hot muds, you can make mistakes. So it's easier just to stick with the joint compounds and just let the coats dry in between. It just has to dry overnight. Maybe if you put some fans on, it'll dry in half a day, but usually rule of thumbs overnight, sand it, coat it again, let it dry, sand it, coat it again. Usually takes 3 coats to get everything perfect. But we're just using a 5-minute mud, just doing a quick skim coat over everything. Since it's really not in bad shape, it's not going to need a heavy coat, no fill in. We're just doing a tight skim coat over everything. We're going to let the 5 minutes set up, then slick it out using a 6-inch knife and a sponge, damp sponge. This is a hot mud slick out technique. As you've seen on plenty of my videos, patching videos, this is the technique I do when I have to finish the jobs in one trip. Once it's all slicked out, it's ready for a second coat. I'm going to follow through and do another tight second coat. And then we're going to follow it through with a finish coat using an all-purpose joint compound. This all-purpose joint compound, we buy it in boxes. We mix it in the buckets using a mixer, thin it down with some fresh water. Basically, the consistency is a creamy, heavy pancake batter. It has to be creamy and it has to be mixed up well. We don't just scoop it out of the box and use it. Out of the box, it's just really heavy. Even the first coat stuff out of the box, you still even want to thin it down a little bit and at least mix it up so it's somewhat creamy. But with these textures, most textures, easy go-to materials, the all-purpose joint compounds. It's a smoother material, so that's why we do the finish coat with these. But pretty simple, skimming out the backsplash. And maybe you decide you have some tile or something you want to remove. Go ahead and try to get one of them out. Don't just start pounding out the wall. Anyone can bust out the wall and replace it. You want to try to get those tiles popped off. Start with one, pop them off, see if they come off easy. And if you're lucky, you can get the tiles off easily and then just scrape the wall and then maybe just skim over it 1, 2, 3 times. If it's really bad, maybe 4 times of all-purpose joint compound. But this is an easy one. They're not always this easy. I'm just showing you what has to be done. If you do remove the tiles, you're going to have to at least finish coat, get the area smoothed out. Even if you want to put new tile over it, you still want to get the area somewhat smooth so the new tile will bondu. Or you could just skim it out smooth with a few coats, sand it out, and just leave it a smooth wall, and that's still a nice finish. But hey, it's easy, basic video, so if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Also, hit that like button. And also, thanks for subscribing and viewing. Thank you.